welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm going to be doing a Blu-ray update. I asked what the reading was going to be about, and what I heard is you just passed the test. um, yeah. Sometimes passing a test does not feel good. Sometimes. Exactly. Exactly. What now? What more? What now? Yeah. Let me just get these cards ready and just get these cards ready. It's been a lot. It's been a lot today. It's been a lot. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll see if we need to pull other cards for clarification. Okay. So, whatever test you endured, it had to do with home. It had to do with security. It had to do with securing a sense of safety, right? So, it started with you not being grounded, right? It's almost like this sense of you felt very uprooted, just kind of yanked from your space of peace without knowing or understanding or um without knowing or understanding, like, why is this happening? Why does this have to go on? Well, it has to happen so that you can tap into the truth of your power and how that power can help you to heal yourself. um there was something, I wrote it down. Hold on really quick. Let me find it. Yeah. Um it is I will not continue to hurt my own feelings just to save you from your own. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever done that where you Mm. where you willingly chose to hurt your own feelings to spare someone from feeling the gravity of their actions, their words, right? So it's one of those things. Yeah. It's one of those things where part of your healing is placing yourself at the top of your list of things to protect, the things you cherish. Um, and then before I came live, there were a few other things that I saw on another social media platform. One says, focus on you, relax your mind, protect your peace. When you're trying to be a ray of sunshine, but people keep testing you. It shows an angry Barney. um, and then another post, there's so much peace in knowing that I will not miss out on what's meant for me. Ah, yeah. This right here, I got to show this one to you guys, because this one, I saw this and then I got upset. And then I was like, I'm going to sleep. And then Michael's like, no, you're not. It's time for an update. This right here. The way my spirit guides, look at me after I let things slide again instead of setting a boundary. Yeah. Uh, so fertility in reverse. This is about you denying your capacity to create goodness for yourself by refusing to enforce a healthy boundary, right? You just passed the test. What does that mean? That means whatever it is you're feeling bad for doing, for saying, whatever that was like super necessary, right? That's a very decision that helped you to pass a test. Helped you to pass a test from soul. Yeah. So, no more winter. I guess maybe you're starting to thaw. Maybe the thing that you were so frigid towards was yourself. And maybe that's what needed to be thawed out, the love that you have for yourself. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I am sure. Boundaries. You needed to exercise some boundaries that would prevent the people who take advantage of who you are and how you are. People see the goodness that you are. You know that, right? They see the goodness that you are, and for some, they will take advantage of your character, of the way they know that you are supportive and understanding and helpful and an enabler. Yeah, an enabler. For some of us, we're an enabler. We enable people's toxic behaviors, people's lack of accountability for the things that they do. Your silence sometimes is enough to enable. That's what Michael says. Yeah. The way I conduct myself in my personal matters is very different than the way the general public assumes I conduct myself. There's some assumption that I'm just full of badassery. I tell you guys the truth. I am a fractured person, highly sensitive. And so, if I care about you, I just kind of wanted to go to sleep. I think the lesson for tonight is sometimes you can't just sleep off some of the things that need to be addressed, right? The lesson for tonight is you can't just avoid everything. So, When you face things, you then get the opportunity to begin healing past things. Whatever it is you need to heal past, it's going to keep being agitated and agitated and agitated until you actually stop your cycles of avoidance. I'm so gnarly with the avoidance. It's ridiculous. And so the lack of dedication to your growth is what's causing you to lose sleep over things that could have easily and should have easily been resolved. Right? Sometimes you're presented with an opportunity to not go through the same cycles that you normally go through by simply saying something right at the inception of the event, right at the start. And if you don't say something, then it continues to escalate and snowball and escalate and snowball until you have no choice but to say things with venom. That's your own choice, though, because you held off and held off and held off until you had no other option but to face the very thing that you should have faced right from the start. Right? So, there's a little bit of a message that you've lost your sense of play. You've lost um, your willingness to focus on the playful aspects of some of the lessons that you've learned. Um, I don't know. I mean, are you supposed to change who you are in order for you to pass these tests? Or are these tests really just a refinement of your perception of what you actually deserve? Right? 90% at 11:09. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. And maybe that's why the same lessons keep circulating, cyclical cycles over and over and over. These same lessons. And I can't really complain that the same lessons continue to repeat for me personally because I have yet to master these lessons. Right? Mm. Sometimes avoidance is walking away until I'm able to communicate clearly and precisely. Sometimes the buildup creates a refined response. I feel I learned lessons, but I'm wondering if I really am. Ooh, that's deep. I wonder the same. I wonder the same. So the seeker in reverse, I'm wondering if we have, in some way, shape, or form, ceased to look for the reality of what it is we are experiencing. I'm wondering if part of us has stopped looking for the things we need to look for in the circumstances that we live through, right? I find myself asking, why am I like this? And I think the fact that I don't know why tells me that I haven't done enough yet to learn more of who I am and why I function the way I do. Because when you begin to allow yourself to see why you function in the way that you do, you begin to see the ways in which you can heal the parts of you that hurt so badly that you are left feeling, thinking, and living as though you have no other option but to be how you are. Hmm. So maybe what we're not avoiding, or what we are avoiding, is not the thing that's before us, but what that thing represents from something behind us, something from our past, maybe from childhood, right? There were things that I should have said. But I didn't. I'm not sure why. And so, in not saying what needed to be said, that eventually led to me needing to say many things that needed to be said. And so, whatever it is, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how lessons play out. But apparently, we've passed the test. We passed the test at the expense of someone else's feelings. And I think a lot of empaths, the very sensitive ones, you'll feel the need to correct a situation that's gotten so far, so wildly out of control. And then when you go to correct it, because you didn't say something to begin with, which you probably should have done, but you didn't, and there's no changing that now, you then begin to feel badly for having to hurt someone else. And then it becomes irrelevant whether or not they deserve to be hurt, whether or not they brought it upon themselves. That becomes irrelevant. All you know is you hurt somebody. But you passed the test. Because the reality is, if you didn't say something now, you'd have to wait longer and more would have to be accounted for. So more feelings would be hurt. So maybe what we have to come to terms with is part of the lesson involves pain, because pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have in this life. And as you finish your cycles of allowing yourself to be hurt, as you call the person accountable, as you hold them accountable for the things that they've done, their hurt then gives them the opportunity to experience the same profound level of learning and healing that you just experienced because of what they initiated. And I think the most important thing is to remember that if it was not your intent to hurt someone's feelings, but their feelings were hurt as a result of the correction of their actions, then what are you really trying to blame yourself for? So maybe that's the next lesson that you need to address: the unnecessary blaming of the self for natural, organic processes that lead to profound expansion of awareness of self, of others, of how we are so interconnected, right? So, ancestors. I'm not in the mood, Marlene. I'm not in the mood. So, ancestors, you are being very much reminded of the interconnectedness of all of us. That some of the lessons that you're working through in this lifetime are lessons that your ancestors failed to complete, and now they are depending on you to complete the lessons that they couldn't. That's a lot to place upon your shoulders. Luckily for you, your shoulders were custom designed to carry that type of weight. That means you can handle it. You just don't want to. That's from Marlene. She said, that means you can handle it. You just don't want to. Dare to dream. What's your dream? What is it that you're needing to accomplish? What is it that you want to do? What is it? You haven't allowed yourself to be aware of the things that you actually want, right? I don't want to. She's too much tonight. She's too much. I'm not messaging anyone. Like, the more you push me, the more I choose not to. Just stop talking to me. Higher perspective. You have to allow yourself to see things from a higher perspective. You have to allow yourself to recognize when you're being invited to reach higher levels of awareness of what process you're actually in. Higher perspective. When you can see things from a higher vantage point, you can see how far you've come and how far you still need to go. You are in a position of advantage, right? You have the strength to do this. You have the strength to climb higher in order to see better the very things you're being tasked to do. So climb. Allow yourself to climb higher. Allow yourself to do what it is that you need to do so that you can begin to really see the choices that are placed before you. So you can begin to see that your integrity is intact. Card number 36, worlds within worlds. So the things that have been pushed deep inside and have, you or someone else has tried to bury this so deeply in your attempt to avoid the very things that you need to face. You've done nothing but put yourself upon the path that brings you exactly where you need to be to see exactly what you need to see. You're going to be placed in front of a mirror. Well, okay. What do you want me to say? Okay. There's a lot of things that you are allowing fear to distort. There's a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, a lot of perceptions that you are allowing your elevations in fear to cause to be seen in such a way that takes it so far from what it actually is. You cannot count on the things you need to experience in this life to be held off until you're out of body. You have to do what needs to be done in this life, right? You just pass the test. You're coming to these realizations. You're beginning to understand exactly what it is that soul is asking you to do. So understand it and remain in compliance with soul. The only other option hurts a lot. Choice is yours, which one you choose. But just know, as much as you are uncomfortable and afraid in the circumstance presented to you, the option, the alternative, is far worse. Far, 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 far worse. Sometimes I get tired of listening to you. I hope you know that. Sometimes I get tired of you talking to me nonstop. Sorry. Had to address this lady here. Okay. Card number 24. Pisces, I believe. I must be a mermaid. I have no fear of depths and a great fear of shallow living. So, immediately, the first sense that I get is that whatever situation it is you're dealing with, whoever else was involved, they had no idea of the depths of your feelings, the depths with which you would receive specific types of actions. They had no idea that you would lack the capacity to not receive their excuses as betrayal. You see, when someone is super, super deep and super, super sensitive, they have a tendency to not let you know when you're at the cusp of making them feel betrayed. But once you cross that threshold, you can never go back. You can never go back. What's done is done, and you can never go back because they'll never forget. They'll never forget the ways in which you disregarded the trust that they've placed in you. erroneously, accurately, it's irrelevant at that point. You crossed that threshold and you can never go back. You can try, you can spend years trying. You'll never erase what you did, ever. It's unfortunate if they don't understand this in advance. Building connections with the highly sensitive, the highly gifted, those who have the clarity to see, those who have the heart to empower others. It's a blessing and a curse to have them love you, to feel love for someone like that. Because you never really know how your words affect them. You just don't. They'll never let you know, at least not when there's time for you to change the trajectory still. They'll let you continue to be yourself. The blessing in that is you'll learn exactly who you are. Because once you've shown them the true gravity of you, they'll always hold you accountable. They will always have that visual of you. You're never going to change that. It doesn't matter what you are, who you are. You are never going to change that moment where they saw down to the depths of you, saw the ugliest parts of you, chose to love you even seeing that, and then you chose to tap into it because you could, because you thought you could get away with it. So that sucks. That sucks. Because when you lose someone like that, whether it's platonic or romantic, when you lose someone like that, it's an actual loss, a devastating one. And you don't know how devastating it is until years later. You still think about them and the ways in which you messed up by simply not even giving them the consideration that you know they had already earned. That's a really harsh lesson to learn. Really, really harsh. But again, you passed the test. I assume you are that person. I assume you are the person that is highly sensitive, highly intuitive, highly patient with all sorts of foolery. Their loss, not yours. And maybe in the immediate period after you've learned the lesson, you've passed the test, you've asserted your boundaries and spoke your truth, maybe during that period is going to hurt a lot for you because you're sensitive. Not only are you grieving the fact that you had to hurt someone in order for them to understand, you're also feeling the sense of grief you know they will feel in your absence for as long as you're gone. Mhm. Michael says to read the last sentence of something I wrote earlier. Oh, I truly and genuinely wish you the best in all that you do in my silent absence. I have no ill will towards people. I don't need to, because I know in my absence it's a deafening silence. It is an all consuming void that I leave behind when I walk away. There will be no traces of me left to soothe you, just the emptiness that you asked me to gift to you. So, I truly and genuinely wish you the best in all that you do in my silent absence. And what hurt my feelings at the start of this live stream just doesn't really feel so painful at this point. And it sounds very sad coming out of my mouth. It feels very sad because the exchange is catastrophic. Catastrophic for me in the moment, catastrophic for them for the rest of their life. When an empath walks away, you'll know. When someone full of magic and love chooses to walk away from you, that's not something you don't feel. You know. Sometimes you feel it even before the first steps are taken. You know. Word of advice. I don't think I'm going to let anyone else in. But should I lose my mind and allow someone else to try and develop a friendship with me at some point? When you start to worry that something's wrong and you've done something to make me consider walking away, I probably am seriously considering it. That means it's time for you to take accountability for what you know you're doing. That means the more you try and deny, the tighter the laces become on the shoes I've placed on my feet to walk away from you. That's the only opportunity you get, because I will not call you out on it. I will just say, okay, thank you. I will even soothe you as you feel the fear of my impending departure. I will tell you it's okay. Things happen for a reason. I believe everything will be fine. I know they'll be fine for me. Not so much for you, though. Not because I'm doing anything to you or wishing anything upon you, but because I'm aware at this point in my life of the type of void that is left when I walk away. You cannot experience me and a personal friendship with me and not know how much leaves with me when I walk away from you. I will leave no trace of me behind, because you used up everything while I was still packing my bags. But it'll be okay, because I will pass every test, regardless of how many tears are necessary to help me release my disappointment, release that sense of betrayal. I will pass every test, because that is what I was designed to do. And you will become nothing but a lesson in a book that I keep on a shelf and never go back to read. That is the reality of what happens when your actions devastate the heart of an empath. I might spend a few days feeling badly for you, but eventually the pathways that allow me to feel you will be closed off, sealed shut, and I will forget that you existed as part of my life, because there are many other people who are seeking to supplant you. So many others. Be careful of the way you disregard the effects of your actions on a sensitive person, especially one filled with integrity. Because what happens, you have to live with, and I just have to keep living. It's not for me to carry. It's not for any empath to carry and to blame themselves. Yes, you played your part in the way things expired, but you are not responsible for someone's lack of integrity, for their lack of ethics, for their complete disregard of the way their behaviors are detrimental to others. Exactly. Yep. And for empaths, you have to know you're not like other people. You have to know this. You have to give fair warning. People think I'm joking. I tell them, don't fall in love with me. don't hurt your own feelings, because I only allow the best of the best to remain with me always. The ones who always keep me safe, even without me asking. The ones who will never make me earn their affection, because they see I'm already worth it. I am no longer afraid to walk away from people who never deserved me to begin with. I just feel badly because they didn't believe me when I said it will hurt you when I leave. If you cannot see what I am worth, what I deserve from you, it will hurt you when I leave. So walk away from me now before you hurt your own feelings. Because, like I said, no matter what, I will pass that test. That is what I was designed to do. As empaths, we need to start allowing ourselves to go through the process we go through, to understand the gravity of who and what we are for others. The service that you are here to provide for others, this divine purpose that you think you have, that we all have, right? Sometimes the way you serve someone else is by allowing them to exist in your silent absence. And sometimes it's just a really efficient way to punish those who hurt you. Either way, it has a very devastating effect on others. And if you want to remain within your integrity, don't walk away to punish them. Walk away because it's what you need, it's what you deserve, and it's what they created. So Pisces, I believe, Those ruled by this sign know much, know it all deep down, but have trouble sorting matters out. They're able to sense deeply, except for certain things extremely bad for them, which turn into mishaps and disasters. I'm telling you. Pisces still survives. Through it all, Pisces still survives. You may be extra sensitive to beauty currently. Poetry courses through you. You feel connected to the source. You like the idea of surrendering to what is. Compassion flows. But compassion for others should never come at the cost of compassion for self. Acceptance of others should never come at the cost of rejection of self. It's important. It's important. Because whatever you allow others to do to you will determine whether or not you will need to walk away and devastate them. Because we're all going to reach a point where we will no longer be able to be tolerant of that type of treatment. We're all approaching that point if we are not already there. Take advantage of inspiration and channel it into a creative project. Capture that wave. A great idea from the past may reemerge and you may want to return and finish it, but you will want to tackle this idea soon when you are inspired, or the entire matter could disappear into the rushes of the deep. About your question, you may be confused by the reactions of others or simply unable to get to the correct answer. Pisces can be like a pristine sea or the muck of a swamp, so getting lost is a danger. And I think what happens is we get lost in our loyalty and our sense of obligation for other people. Attempting to maintain a peace that does not exist will not create a peace that never existed. It will simply delay the inevitable. It will simply compound the pain. What could have been a simple putting your arm in a cast for a hairline fracture suddenly becomes some surgical procedure because that hairline fracture worsened and now it's a compound break. The bone is sticking out of the skin. The tendons have torn, right? Make sure you're not being pulled under by other people's complications. I got to read that a few times. Make sure you're not being pulled under by other people's complications. Another person's aspirations, professional aspirations, personal aspirations, artistic endeavors, whatever it is, whatever they're trying to do for themselves, you should never be used as the collateral for that. You should never be used as payment to receive their dreams. If someone can treat you like collateral, eventually they'll allow you to be the collateral damage. Inconsequential. Believe them when they show you that they're capable of seeing you and treating you in this way. Believe them, accept it, move forward from it, pass that test by passing that person up. It's even possible you have someone in your life who saps you. Usually, this is not intentional, but because of some delusional way of unthinking or viewing the world, that clouds the issue. Don't fall into this same confusion. Make sure you are protected and have the proper boundaries. Let me read that again. Make sure you're not being pulled under by other people's complications. It's even possible you have someone in your life who saps you. Usually, this is not intentional, but because of some delusional way of unthinking or viewing the world, that clouds the issue. Don't fall into this same confusion. Make sure you are protected and have the proper boundaries. You may have physical symptoms, but find no reason for them. Probably because someone is sapping you, draining you. That's probably why. When the Pisces card is involved, circumstances may be covert or at least obscured from view. For cross watchers, if you're drawn to a person because they're highly intuitive and you see the magic that they are, whatever made you think that they would not notice the foolery you are attempting to get away with because they didn't say anything? Yes, let me tell you, they didn't say anything because they were giving you the opportunity to retract your attempt at foolery. If they can see you without telling them anything, that means they can see you and everything you're planning. But, you know, some people need to learn this firsthand. So by all means, learn it. Learn it. Um, Card number 46, Grand Trine Blessings. Everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. Okay. Trines always inspire harmony in the skies, so there's a sense of wholeness and completion when a grand trine happens. So this is something that there's a completion that's occurring. It's a very divine completion. So it says when two planets aspect each other at 120 degrees. So a grand trine is when three planets aspect each other at 120 degrees. This creates an equilateral triangle. These planets will usually be in signs of the same element. A grand trine is considered to have an easy flowing energy, either in the natal chart or by transit, and to be in an incredibly lucky aspect. There was something that happened that caused one or two elements of that trine. It's a three component thing, right? One or two elements of that trine, usually individuals, um, cause them to think that they could bring heaven on earth. But it's, you can't. Not in that way. Not in that way. Although grand trines do not always spell out easy fame or fortune, those with one in their natal chart can be born into wealth or at least momentously talented. I'm wondering if someone saw you as their personal grand trine. And that is why I don't like anyone in my personal, in real life circumstance, knowing the work that I do. That is why. You guys, I can't make anyone famous. I can't. If you're going to try and enter my life for benefits like that, you're going to be very disappointed. You just are. I learned that a while ago. And if we have private social conversations, um, and I begin to hear from you words like celebrity, if I begin to sense from you that you think that I am one, I'm going to have to cut you off right then and there. New rule for life. I'm going to have to cut you off right then and there. I am a regular person. I am a stay-at-home mom. I work from home. I do online stuff at work, and that's that. That's that. Whatever people are thinking they're going to be able, no, I promise you, you're going to be so sorely disappointed. Okay. When the Grand Trine card presents itself in a spread, be assured you are entering a time of easy flow, or that at least many of the impediments you are experiencing are being lifted. This speaks of a period of harmony and ease that may inspire you to take the path of least resistance, But it is best that you keep your eye on the prize and not let go of your original purpose. Do not leave it on the shelf. There is a possibility that your success may be lost if you do. So, when it comes to love, when the Grand Trine card comes up, your existing relationship should improve, your social popularity will increase, and if single, you're about to meet a person or already have who will be a true partner, not only supportive of you and your successes, but someone who will help advance you in your goals. Like for like, iron sharpens iron, right? Something like that. I don't know what metal it is, but it sharpens itself, right? If you want to stay sharp, you have to stay with those who are like you, not the ones who continue to dull you further and further and further to the point where even when you're placed in the hand of Creator, the dullness that has occurred makes you unusable. You can never allow yourself to lose your purpose, not to keep someone in your life, not to be seen as something you're not. You cannot. You cannot. Iron sharpens iron, one hand washes the other, both hands wash the face. Only if both hands are free. When you're dealing with a person who has one hand on lies, um, you can't really effectively wash the face in that sense anymore. Because what ends up happening is those lies taint the skin of the hand, which eventually taints the face. When people have the capacity to lie, to be manipulative, it taints the beauty that I once saw in them. I find it impossible to even acknowledge your potentiality after that. I find it impossible to overlook the blemish that is the lie. That's all I can stare at. That's all I can stare at. As someone who has a tendency to avert my gaze from things that I know that would make people feel uncomfortable if they felt me looking at it, that's all I can stare at. The lies. Lies are like poison ivy. We're going through our things, slowly starting to pack. And I came across a machete that years ago, literally years ago, almost 10 years ago, in 2015, we went to go visit my girlfriend, and our sons were playing. I don't know what happened, but I don't know. It had to do with the machete and poison ivy. I think it was like my friend's son was maybe joking around. I'm not sure. I wasn't outside. I think he was joking around or something. I'm not sure, but he was messing with poison ivy and the ball. And so my son was like, "You shouldn't do that because it's poison ivy." And trying to save his friend from getting in trouble for messing with poison ivy, he goes into our vehicle and gets out the machete and starts hacking away at the poison ivy, which that's all over the machete now. We can't use that anymore because it's all over the machete. Well, long story short, um, after we left, um, several people in the family got poison ivy. He got it across his, I think, hands and face. The husband also got it across himself. Lies are like poison ivy. Everything it touches, it taints. Everything it touches, it taints. Yep, I agree. I agree. It might hurt, but we who are grateful ultimately give thanks for any bullet or cannonball we've dodged. Yeah, dodging bullets. Call me Neo. Call me Trinity. This matrix sucks. I'm just saying. Whatever the subject of your question, your path is being cleared. There are few road bumps, but the most important thing is to follow through on everything you start. Follow through on everything you start. Follow through on everything you start. While it may seem like luck is on your side, you've been diligent and worked consistently to bring this about. Your diligence and hard work may not be visible to others, but you deserve the success that is soon to be yours. You're about to become very successful. I think you've already started that. I think you've already taken the steps. You're headed down the path. You just have to finish what you start. Card number 6, Saturn, truth. Some people don't know what the truth is, even if it's sat on their face. I'm saying, you know? Card number 6, Saturn, truth. As she has planted, so does she harvest. Such is the field of karma. Ooh. The Saturn card says that it may feel bad now, but it's going to be resolved. When the Saturn card presents itself, you know you're being challenged. It's time to make it or break it. Life may seem harsh and restrictive. You're facing an enemy who may be yourself. Saturn shows us that at times it's in our better interest not to have those things we want, and that if we were to have them, they could lead us to our destruction. If this is a time of sorrow or hopelessness, realize it's all about diligence, sticking to what you believe in and adhering to your goals. This is a period in your life that emphasizes toughness and work. It's all about not giving up and following through. Saturn also deals with power and control, often meaning law enforcement and the military. On a more positive side, you may meet a fatherly type who will help you advance with your goals. Saturn can sometimes herald the appearance of a sage or a teacher. This will be no small thing and can indicate a mentor arriving just when you are in most need of one. Dealing with the aged may be an issue now or in the near future. Problems with the bones, joints, or skeletal structure could crop up. Let's see. Many lessons are being learned and problems conquered currently or in the near future. The gift of Saturn is keeping you on your path, helping you face parts of your life you may dread, but you simply must fulfill. They are your contracts towards more solid achievements and a better life. Circumstances may be harsh for a while, but believe your sacrifices to be worth it. It is a good time to be diligent and not rush anything. Whatever you are asking about is likely to take considerable time and not come about too quickly. So there's that. I would say you are either about to pass a test, excuse me, already passed the test, or you're the cross watcher who messed up and lost out on a big thing. Marlene. Marlene says, tell them you're a big deal. What? What are you talking about? You're being crazy. You need to stop. You need to stop. You're being crazy. She's she's serious. She said it so intensely. Tell them you're a big deal. According to whom? You're nutty. Stop it. Stop it. What if people see you as a big deal? Well, then that's their issue, isn't it? There's no big deal about nothing, girlfriend. There's no big deal about nothing. Well, then you should go away, shouldn't you? She says it irritates her when I act like I'm not a big deal. Okay, well, then go away. Solve your own problem. Go away. Leave me alone. And you won't be irritated. These are deeply held beliefs. I deeply believe that I'm not a big deal. So go away. Don't be hurtful to you because you didn't hurt my feelings. Well, yeah. You didn't, but you're irritating me. You're irritating me. Girl, I only got so much patience, okay? I only got so much patience, and you're about to catch a whole wrath from me if you don't just stop. Stop talking to me for a little bit because I'm not messaging anyone. I don't care. Keep talking then. I don't care. Keep talking. I'm not messaging anyone. No. No. Just no. Card number 34, Layla. 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 Put aside your clever schemes. Put aside your clever schemes. Oh, lover, be mindless, become mad. Dive into the heart of the flame, become fearless, be like a moth. Turn away from the self and tear down the house, then come and dwell in the house of love. Be a lover, live with lovers. Clean your chest from all hostility. Wash it 7 times. Then fill it with the wine of love. Be a chalice for love, be a chalice. You must be all love to be worthy of the beloved. When going to the gathering of drunks, be a drunk, become drunk. Your thought takes a course dragging you in its wake. Move beyond thought, let your heart lead. Be the leader. When the grace of love is revealed, be a mirror to reflect it. When the beloved's hair is loosened, brush it like a comb. Be a comb. How I long for my thoughts to no longer make any sense to me. Then I can be rid of them, like noisy house guests who have overstayed their welcome. Oh, peace when they finally go. Their incessant chatter brings me no comfort. I crave the silence of you. Trying to choke myself. Marlene, leave me alone. Seriously. Seriously. You're irritating me. I crave the silence of you. Will you let me hear it? Will you run through the noisy house of my mind with your great muddy feet so that I can focus on something other than my mind for a while? Maybe you can make such a mess that I shall give up my plans and attempts at order completely. Just give in for a change. It's time for that. Never. Never. I never can give in. It's no fun if I don't fight back. To give up my ridiculous fantasies of perfection, useless, noisy, irritating, demanding, and yet deadening perfection. I'd rather just be alive. I want to plant my head in the earth in the same mud that sticks to your feet. and breathe in her rich soil smell. I want to feel her heart beating in the quiet movements of the roots of the plants as they stretch and grab and stop my ears with her fertile dirt, finally gaining peace from the constant infernal racket of thoughts no longer wanted. Oh, beloved, how you are to be envied. You're being given the gift of no self, no noise, and no sense. The great beloved truly wants you to be closer than ever to the wild universal heart. In that field of love, every electronic device goes haywire, systems collapse, worlds collide, and great stars are born from the chaos. But the real you will sense none of this. You'll be staring at your beloved, so intoxicated by love, your tongue will loll out of your mouth and you'll drool like a bloodhound. And you won't care a hoot, neither will the great beloved. Such will the passion of your reunion be that the only thing to matter will be the one great love exploding inside your being. So who cares if you have no idea what day it is? What was your job supposed to be again? Or how to make conversation, let alone intelligent conversation, at the dinner table? Well, you shall not be yourself anymore. You shall not be so appropriate or sociable. Who understands crazy words that fall out of your mouth unchecked by logic or rationality? I do. I know the beloved too. I'm under that same loving spell. I, like you, have no I anymore. I, like you, am so crazy with love that I care not for things making sense anymore. I, like you, long for my night of love with the great beloved that ends me forever and renders me only and ever the lover of the great beloved. I call that night forward from my love crazed heart, as do you. Let us run together and pound on the bedroom door of the great beloved. There is no shame, there is nothing else worth holding on to. Let us go now and throw ourselves upon the goodwill of the Creator. Our hair shall be messy and mingle with the curving galaxy, and the planets shall grow rings around them, becoming the many eyes of the beloved, delightfully bearing witness to our loving, passionate surrender. This oracle brings you a message. You are moving through a period of not knowing, of time in the great void or womb of Divine Mother. It is in this place a seed can crack open and take root. This cannot happen in the light where all is seen and recognized. It must happen under the cover of darkness, where only trust can assure one of success. This is the way of nature, the way of life, and it must be honored. This oracle brings you ancient wisdom. It guides you not to fear the darkness, but to enter into it willingly. It is not for you to become lost, but to find your way. This oracle is saying that in the darkness there is the path. Do not turn away from it. Let it be with lack of knowing. When people ask of you so many questions and demand sensible answers to support their notion of reality, do not bow to such unworthiness and fear. Know that their minds may be fearful for your safety and their own, lest your divine madness be contagious, but that their fear is nothing to you, nothing at all. It is not even anything to them, but they just don't know that yet. Under the sacred black cloak of night, the Divine Mother, the Goddess, she who transfigures from darkness into light, has invited you into her chamber. In that place you shall experience annihilation, but only after that of which is untrue. But only that of which is untrue, that of which would hold you back, dampen your spirits, or prevent you from bursting into full aliveness. For that which is true is already seated deep in her womb and preparing to be born, strong and with good, powerful legs. So when it is time, it will leap like a wild creature, all instinct and intuition, into the morning light. For this moment, however, there is darkness, and that is essential for the appearance, so imminent, beloved, of the light on its way. This oracle brings you guidance if you find yourself to be sad, to be grieving, whether you know for what or not, or even depressed or struggling, feeling as though you are being pulled down. Do not fight, bear witness instead. Allow what is taking place to take place. Allow what is happening to happen. You shall find joy in allowing the interplay of darkness and the light to take place according to a greater unfolding rhythm of your own divine growth process. Oh Lord. Oh Lordy Lord. So, wow, things are happening and you just got to flow with it. You got to flow with it. 1212, the first steps of your journey. 100% at 1212. The first steps. This is beyond the recognition that a journey must occur. This is beyond the preparatory period for that journey. This is about the first steps of the journey actually being taken. You have to take the first step. There's no other option. There is no other option. Things will continue to become complicated, more and more unnecessarily complex in the simplicity of the tasks asked of you. A complexity that is unnecessary will lead to tremendous suffering. Your suffering, not someone else's. Your suffering. So do yourself a favor. Stop choosing to punish yourself for what? What do you punish yourself for? For being able to feel? Because you know to some degree that your capacity to feel the depths of what you feel is actually evidence of your elevated power. There's no other options. If I could taser Marlene, I would. Right now, I would. This scared you for a second? Yeah. Because it felt like I meant it, because I did. Luckily for you, I am not allowed to taser you. I would have about 5 sentences ago. Because I've had enough of you tonight. That's why. It's not like me to talk to you that way. Yeah, so that should tell you to shut the F up already. Because I've had it with you tonight. She's like, but I just started talking. Yeah. I don't care. So guys, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to talk anymore. Because I have to keep listening to her talking while I'm on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to sleep. Because sleep tends to drown her out. That's not a request I can fulfill right now, Marlene. Seriously. Stop asking me to. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Yeah, join me when I'm live. Love you guys. See you again very soon. Bye, everyone.